Hey friends, welcome to Sassy AF TV Season 2, Episode 15, From Winning Cupcake Wars to Thriving as an Entrepreneur. This week, I'm sharing an interview with Hallie Riede, owner of Sugar Cat Studio. Hallie is the ultimate in-demand woman. She teaches art, has a small business, and is the mother to 2 beautiful children. How does she do it all? Listen to Hallie's story of how she decided to follow her passion in art and discovered a talent in baking. She was also featured on the Food Network's competition show, Cupcake Wars, and won. Hallie has a unique twist on cupcakes that you will have to listen to find out what it is. And then you will want to order her gourmet mixes to try for yourself. The biggest lesson Hallie wants to share about doing it all is, I do one simple thing for my business every day, and that builds my motivation. Hallie offers some great tips for anyone in demand, so let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of Sassy AF TV. I'm Hallie Avolio, and I'm so excited to bring our guest with you this week, Hallie Riede. She is the owner of Sugar Cat Cupcakes, or is it Sugar Cat Bakery or Sugar Cat Cupcakes?
Sugar Cat Studio.
Sugar Cat Studio. Well, I had to get it all in there. Cupcakes, baking studio.
And all of the above.
I love it. I love it. Well, you are my first guest, Hallie, who is coming on and has a specific food product, and I'm really excited to learn about it, especially because you have a really fun story that you're going to share with us in a little bit about your experience on Food Network's Cupcake Wars, which is so cool. So I can't wait to hear more about that. So thank you for being here today.
Of course. So happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to tell us your story. You have such an interesting background. I love, if when everybody watches your video and they go check out your website and they'll see in your bio, I love your story of how you've taken your art background and made cupcakes your new canvas. So Tell us a little bit about your history, what you're doing, and how you got into this world of cupcakes.
Yeah. Okay. So I grew up in Syracuse, New York. It's a small town in upstate New York. It's actually not that small. You've probably heard of Syracuse University, and that's where I went. That's where I went to college, actually, and I majored in surface pattern design. So it's part of the art department, and it's all about creating patterns that would go on like paper products and wallpaper and fabric and clothes. And so I majored in that, and so I did a lot with creating patterns for, I worked in New York City for a home goods company, and I created patterns for our photo albums and our gift baskets and journals and that kind of thing. And so, after working in New York City on 34th Street, just 2 blocks down from the Empire State Building,
oh my gosh,
for a year, commuting back and forth from Brooklyn, I just realized I needed to do something outside of a desk job. And I wanted to get my teaching credential and work with kids, teaching art. So I applied to UCSB and I got in and I moved across the country and I got my teacher credential and started teaching art at a small charter school here in Santa Barbara called Olive Grove Charter School. And, I loved working with kids but something was kind of missing. And I think it was that creativity on my own. And so taking my art background, I actually started my own cupcake wrapper company. So I made cupcake wrappers to go around cupcakes. So I made I created the designs, I did all the embellishments, and I sold them on Etsy. And so through that, I had to take photos of these cupcakes with the wrappers. So I had to bake cupcakes. And so I would bake these cupcakes. And then afterwards, I was I have all these cupcakes. I'd give them to friends, to family. And they tried them and they said, oh my gosh, these are so good. You need to sell these. And so I loved baking. I always baked growing up in New York because it was a way to keep warm. It was so cool. So I was let's put the oven on and just bake. So I loved baking. That was but I never thought about it as actually a career in that sense. Just because I didn't go to culinary school, I was very self-taught, but people seemed to love them. And so I started baking cupcakes as well as doing the cupcake wrappers. And so I would do that for weddings and special events, and I'd offer the cupcake wrappers with the cupcakes. And it was just so fun to have that passion of my own outside of teaching. I was still teaching as well. And then from there, I started pairing cupcakes with wine at tasting rooms in the Funk Zone. And that was really fun just to explore with a different tasting or culinary experience. And people would be like, cupcakes and wine, that's weird. But they try them and they'd love it. So
Good.
yeah. So it was really cool just to have my own side thing going on at the same time as working with kids and having that hands-on, like feeling like you're making a difference in people's lives too, which that's what I missed when I was working in New York City. Was I was just behind a computer and I didn't see that, like, you know, the interactions between people and like how you have an impact on people and that kind of thing. And with the cupcakes too, you see the joy immediately when, you know, it's someone's birthday. And just last night, it's my son's first birthday, and so he tried his first cupcake ever. So that was just really fun. It's just fun to see the joy and the special, like the specialness of an occasion like that.
So what kind of cupcake did he try for his first birthday?
Mint chocolate chip.
Ooh, I've never
Yeah.
had a mint chocolate chip cupcake. That's my
Okay.
favorite flavor of ice cream. So
Yeah,
you might have to make me one.
for sure. Absolutely. Anytime.
So I love how really developed this passion for your creative side, and how,
Yeah.
clear. I would imagine that studying art and getting into that from an educational perspective, you've always been a creative person,
Mhm.
and maybe going into the corporate world took away some of that creativity. But it sounds like your creative juices have really helped keep your passion and your internal fulfillment going, throughout your career and throughout your lifetime thus far, even teaching and becoming a mom, et cetera. I would
Yeah.
love to hear a little bit about, how do you tap into your creativity? Because I feel like that's something that a lot of, especially in-demand women, a lot of us have kids and a lot of us have, all these responsibilities in our lives. And sometimes we forget that we all have that creative side to us in whatever capacity it might be. So how do you really tap into that despite all the other things that you're doing in your life?
Yeah, that's such a good question because it's hard. I actually, so I weekly, or not weekly, every 2 weeks, I meet with a really good friend and we have accountability meetings. So basically, we set our goals out for like the next couple weeks and we keep each other accountable by, and just having those conversations, talking to other moms or other, business women. We all go through the same struggles, and just talking to them just makes you feel like, okay, like I can do this, and it reignites your passion too, even when you're feeling down. Just having that meeting, just saying, what are your goals for this week? What have you accomplished? And if you look back on the things that you actually have done, it's actually a lot. And I try to just do one simple thing for my business each day. And that just makes me feel like I'm going forward and not staying stagnant. And then I find that when I do that one thing, even if it's just a 5-minute task, that just builds my motivation for, okay, I did this. Now I can do a couple more things. So just doing the one thing will spiral into like, okay, what else do I need to do? And then I also have a passion planner. So it's basically just this planner that you go through, and it actually helps you break down your goals for the month and for the week and for the day even. And so just opening up that book once a day, helps me to realize, okay, what are my goals? What do I need to do? And and then I get a lot done when the kids are napping.
That's
Sometimes
awesome.
I do, sometimes I don't. But it's, yeah, when they're going on for a nap, I'm like, all right, what can I do? One thing, and then maybe I just get the one thing done. But sometimes it adds up to a lot more than that too. So
Well, and that mantra, I love that concept that you stated about, doing one thing for your business each day, right? Because that builds momentum. And one of my biggest messages and mantras that I love to teach women and all people really is, if you want to live your best life and change your mindset, you really have to follow the philosophy of doing things that are simple, sustainable, and fun, right?
yes.
So
Yeah.
by having that, commitment to yourself, that accountability to yourself, in addition to your accountability partner of, hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to do one thing for my business each day. That's great. And
Yeah.
if it leads to more, also great. And if that's the one thing, also great. Like
Yeah.
it's all good, right? I feel like there's a lot of times we put so many expectations on ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to do all the things all the time, and that's just not realistic.
No, it's not. And then there will be weeks that maybe you don't get that much done. But I think it's all about, especially with like being an entrepreneur, like just realizing that there's ups and downs. And you'll have maybe a week or a month where you're just like down on yourself and you're like, this is just like, why am I even doing this? But then just something, talking to somebody, just doing one or two things that just like can turn it around. And then you just start slowly, and you just have to be like, gentle with yourself and not get too hard on yourself, and realize that, like, look at how far you've come. That's what I try to do. I like look back at like the year before that, or like where I started from and how far I've come. And that just makes me realize that, I can keep going too. And more things will happen if I don't get too down on myself, kind of thing.
Absolutely. So I'd love to know, you're a mom of 2 small kids.
Yes.
You teach, you have your own business. What are some of the daily rituals that you implement so that you stay on target and you stay motivated with the things that are most important to you?
Yeah. For me, it is exercise. I know that sounds silly, but I feel like this is like the cornerstone of everything, because it actually gives me energy, makes me feel like my best self after I've like, but doing things that I love to do. Like my new favorite thing is Star Cycle. I'm obsessed with it. Like I love going to Star Cycle. And then also running is a huge thing for me. Like I feel like if I just get some energy out and I feel good, that I feel like I have more energy. It sounds weird, but I just have more energy to be there for my kids. And that and coffee. Coffee, my very first thing in the morning, I make coffee and I just feel absolutely more energized. And I realize about myself too, I think everyone has to kind of take a look at like, where are you most productive in your day? And for me, it definitely is in the morning. So I put my most annoying tasks in the morning. And so I'm like, all right, let me just get these things out of the way. And then I know like later on, I'm probably going to be like zonked, right? Like there's so much. And so after 7 p.m., I don't expect too much from myself. So in the morning is when I try to get out like my most annoying tasks. And yeah, so I guess like coffee and exercise are my rituals, I would say.
No, that's great. Well, and I think that's a really cool way that you put it about, putting the most annoying tasks first, right? Because if you can get them done, then the reward becomes getting to the fun stuff that you want to be doing. So I'm a firm believer in creating good habits for yourself, right? So if your habit is that you take care of the things that are maybe not as fun for you to do, not as exciting, but once you get them done, that you then get to do the other things that you're really excited about, it makes the reward outweighs, the discipline that it takes to do the annoying thing in the beginning.
Yeah, and it's not hanging over your head all day either.
Exactly.
Another thing I like to do, like for instance, my daughter's homesick with me today, but I still have things that I need to do. So I'll have her just like, she loves watching me, I'll just like, she'll hang out and she'll help, like she's not going to help me bake cupcakes if she's sick, obviously, but she'll like, hang out, watch me, we'll talk. And like, I try to involve her in a lot of things if I can, the things that I, can involve her in at this point. Right. And that's why, I'm like, well, I can maybe do both if she's, involved. And then she starts getting excited about it. And it kind of like, makes her see that I'm doing things that make me passionate. And I think that's really good for her to see that her mom's doing things that make her really excited. So
absolutely,
like she can do that in the future too.
Right. Absolutely. Such a good role model. And I love hearing too, Hallie, that you are a very motivated person. It sounds like you've got a lot of, self-motivation and self-drive. Do you have any times where you just cannot motivate and you just are like, oh shit, I do not want to do this. I cannot do this.
Yeah.
Have you had a moment like that?
Well, the past, I think if you look at my Instagram, just being real, I haven't posted anything in a really long time. I've been so unmotivated to do that recently. I don't know what it is. So yeah, I'm kind of in that funk with Instagram right now, or with social media. And I know if I do one post or I do one thing, it'll probably inspire me to do, oh, this isn't so hard. But I just haven't been motivated to do that. And yeah, so I'm kind of in that right now in that sense.
So what drives you to reevaluate how you're doing things, and what sparks your joy to get you remotivated when it's something that maybe needs to get done and you want to do it, but you just need that extra push?
Yeah. So for me, I love scheduling things. It's weird, but I love my calendar. I love putting things in like, okay, today I'm going to do this and this and that. Like, but I love time blocking. And so I find myself, if I do put it in my calendar, that prioritizes it. And then I see it there and I'm like, all right, I put it in there. I have to stay accountable to it. So, I mean, to be honest, I haven't put it on my calendar. I haven't said, okay, I haven't made it a priority because I just haven't really wanted to. But I know that if I do put it on there, then I'm going to have to stick to it, And so maybe I'll do that today.
I love it.
Yeah.
The reason I ask, and I love talking to entrepreneurs about this, because I feel like, as an entrepreneur, you're running your ship, and you choose every day if you want to keep that ship safe in harbor, or if you want to take it out into the scary waters and see what kind of, winds and turbulence and all of it is going to be thrown at you every single day, every single minute. You have to make choices. You have to prioritize. You have to do all these things, right?
Yeah.
So entrepreneurs know like all the obstacles that come in our way and all the fear and all the self-doubt and all the comparison and also all the joy and all the fun and all the freedom. So there's both sides of it. And I love that tactical, methodology that you just shared, which is so fantastic because I think anybody can use that, entrepreneur or not, right? Like really evaluate if there's something you're procrastinating on. Do you want to do it? Is it a priority? Probably not.
Right.
But when it becomes a priority, how do you make it happen? Do something like time blocking. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. It's just, it's hard, like just to get the motivation up sometimes, but yeah, you just got to keep going at it. I think it's just not really giving up.
Right? Never giving up at one simple thing each day.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So share with us your story of being on Cupcake Wars with the Food Network, because I love baking shows. I love like the Great British Baking Show is one of my favorites. I mean, it's so fun. We've watched Nailed It on Netflix. My daughter and I love that show. I mean, it's kind of a hot mess, but it's hilarious. I've loved cooking shows and baking shows forever, especially the competition ones. And it just seems like, gosh, there has got to be so much behind the scenes that we don't actually see. Yeah. So tell us about your experience on Cupcake Wars.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I applied, I sent in so I was on season 4. So it was like relatively new. I think there was like maybe 15 seasons or something. And so I sent in, a video, I sent in pictures and a whole interview thing. And they called me on my birthday. They had no idea it was my birthday, but they called me on my birthday and said, "You're on the show." And I was like so excited. Best birthday ever. But just, this experience of it was filmed in Manhattan Beach. So it was down around LA area. It was so early. The call time, we had to be there at 6 a.m. and they filmed all day. But I will tell you this, that the clock is real on the show. So when they say you have 30 minutes to make this cupcake, or 45 minutes or whatever it is, they're not kidding. Yeah. There was actually a guy on my episode who didn't get all of his cupcakes on the plate. And that was it for him. He was, booted because of that. Yeah. Because so it's serious. And it was a lot of pressure. I say that I have PTSD after Cupcake Wars. I'll still have nightmares of not getting all my cupcakes ready in time. But everyone, the judges were actually really nice. I know they make Florian seem like he's I don't know, the Simon Cowell of Cupcake Wars, but he was actually really, really nice. And behind the scenes, they could actually come and give you tips and tricks and stuff too. Just say, "Oh, hey, I noticed you made this. I really would tweak it this way or that way next time," or Cool. So, but they go around to everybody, and it's it feels like a mentor in a sense. He actually had kept in touch with him, and he wrote the foreword for my cookbook.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah. So they're all pretty supportive. But it was insanely stressful. I'm not going to lie. And it filmed until I think it was 10 p.m. that night. Just because in between each round, they, you go back into a little room, reset up, and you have to bring 2 sets of clothes because you just get splattered with food everywhere. You know what I mean? It's the batter, it's just crazy. I cut myself, I think 2 different times. They had to stop and get medical in, just, I dropped a bottle of wine on the floor because I was baking with wine. So yeah, it was a hot mess, but they don't show everything. I feel like they could have showed a lot more actually to make it way more intense, but yeah.
That sounds like a crazy experience, but also one that you'll never forget.
Never. I know. I tried to be fully present in that. I was I'll probably never do anything like this again. Let me just try to internalize each moment,
Right. And so that sounds like an amazing experience being on Cupcake Wars. And how has that impacted your business? I know it's probably led to a lot of growth for Sugar Cat Studio.
Yes. Well, it's been great because a lot of people don't necessarily know my business here in Santa Barbara because I am online. I don't have a storefront. But just being able to say that I'm a Cupcake Wars winner and I was on Food Network gives you instant credibility. Mm-hmm. And so that's been really cool. And that's how I was able to, publish a cookbook because I sent out like an intro letter to a publisher, and I mentioned about the Cupcake Wars, and they're like, oh, Food Network, okay, instant credibility. And so that was really cool. It's opened more doors for me in that sense. I've also launched a line of gourmet cupcake mixes that are wine and coffee themed, because as a mom, I think we all know that we need more wine and coffee. At least I do. Yeah, coffee in the morning, wine at night. But I have cupcake flavor or cupcake mix flavors such as like pink champagne and chocolate Pinot Noir and vanilla latte, and yeah, just fun flavors where all you need to do is you get the package, and then you add your wine, eggs, and oil, and that's it. So it's pretty easy, and that's one of those things that I'll be able to slap a sticker on there that says Cupcake Wars winner, and people are instantly more intrigued. I think that's just been great. They're more willing to give me a shot, I think. And so that's been really cool to have that opportunity.
That's awesome. So what's your favorite
my business? Yeah.
Right. What's your favorite flavor of cupcake?
Oh, geez. It's hard. I'm a big salted caramel fan. I love salted caramel, like anything sweet and salty, like a chocolate covered pretzel cupcake or something like that. Like I just love, salted chocolate, even like sea salt. I love it.
And do you pair those with anything?
Well, yeah, I'll even pair those with like champagne or something, just open a bottle of sparkling. I find that like a semi-sweet champagne pairs really well with cupcakes, just because it's got a little hint of sweetness, but not too much. So yeah.
And what is the bubbles and the effervescence in a bottle of champagne do to the cupcakes when you bake them? How does it affect the texture?
Makes it really light and fluffy.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it like the pink champagne totally makes it light, fluffy, and airy. So it's almost like an angel food cake in that sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. So where can everybody find you, find your cupcakes? How can they experience Sugar Cat Studios?
Sure. So you can go online, sugarcatstudio.com, and you can order my mixes that way. If you're in Santa Barbara, you can order custom cupcakes up, but also just check my Facebook page, because I'll usually post about that. That will inspire me to post. If I have an event coming up, I'll get out Instagram and Facebook, and I'll just, post a little reminder that you can find my cupcakes here or there in these weekends. So I should probably get on that.
Well, I'll make sure to post links to all your social media, your website, etc., so people can experience your cupcakes, buy your mixes. I saw also on your website, you've got a bunch of great frosting recipes, which I know for me, I don't actually love the cake part so much, but frosting any day, anytime.
Yeah.
So
yes, I'm more of a frosting person myself. Like I know a lot of people who are not frosting people, and I just do not.
Who are those people?
I don't know. My husband is one of them.
My husband too. Actually, it's a perfect pair though, because when we get a cupcake, he's like, "Here, lick off the frosting. I'll eat the cake," and I'm like, "Done."
It's really perfect. I know.
It is perfect.
Yeah.
Well, before we sign off, Allie, I want to ask you a question that I love to ask my guests at the end of our interviews, which is, what is something that makes you feel sassy in your life?
That's such a great question. I would say, okay, I have an affinity for Betsy Johnson dresses. So I love Betsy Johnson, and I have about I had about 10. I sold a couple. But just going to a party wearing a Betsy Johnson dress makes me feel sassy. I love my Betsy Johnson.
I love it. I remember when there used to be a store in downtown Santa Barbara, the Betsy Johnson store. It's gone.
Oh yeah, I hit up that store all the time. Yeah,
I know.
You can still find them online somewhere, but it's not the same.
I know. There's something about going into a boutique, getting to feel it, try it on, see how it looks on you.
Yes, actually, my Cupcake Wars event was called the Hollywood Christmas Parade, and I wore a Betsy Johnson dress to that event. That was really fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Well, that's a great way to feel sassy. Well, I'm so glad that you were here today, Allie. I love your story. I think it's so fantastic that you've, gone from this corporate art environment to teaching, to baking, to creating these amazing cupcakes paired with wine and beer and coffee and all this fun stuff. And just teaching, your kids how amazing you can be as an in-demand woman, as a mom, and still follow your passion, follow your heart, do the things that fill you up and bring you joy. And that to me is super inspirational. So I'm so appreciative of you sharing your story and being here with us on Sassy AF TV.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with another episode. Make sure you also listen to us on the Sassy AF audio experience. Have a great day. Bye. Hallie was such a fun guest to have on the show. Unfortunately, since we recorded this interview just before the COVID-19 quarantine, I haven't yet been able to try her cupcakes, but I can't wait to get my hands on one as soon as I can. I hope you enjoyed Allie's tips to prioritize what's most important in your life, and remember to be gentle with yourself, and remember how far you've come. Thanks again for being here and tuning in for another episode of Sassy AF TV. It would mean the world to me if you would leave a comment and take a screenshot to share it with your tribe on Instagram or Facebook. Don't forget to tag me at Sassy Healthy Fit. Then make sure to head over to sassyhealthy.fit and sign up for our mailing list so you always know the latest and greatest in sassy fun. See you next time.